Commissioner Vanilla,
Here.
Commissioner Hightower, looks like is absent. Commissioner Webb,
Here.
and Commissioner Goss.
Here.
And Mayor Butler.
Here. Meeting minutes of July 24th. Any addition or correction? If not, they will be approved. Then we have a special meeting on August the 4th. We have the minutes there. Any addition or correction to that? If not, they will be approved. Now, looks to me like we got some visiting firemen here today.
They're here on that
Which one?
J. David and Thompson, and
Okay.
they're all on some setbacks here on.
Well, if anybody from Tennessee needs to speak up.
Charlie Vaughn from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah. Come on around.
Is he a country singer?
Yeah. Nashville, Tennessee.
Here comes Angela.
Thank you. I'm a real estate developer from Nashville and known J. David Thompson for a long time. We've done some work up here previously together, and we're trying to work on another project right now. And I'm I believe number 8
Present.
on your agenda. We're trying to buy the corner parcel on Walton Way that is right next door to the Taco Bell. And it turned out that the lot itself, once we got the survey, is not a rectangle or a square. It's a pretty odd-shaped parcel,
Yeah.
which created a little bit of a problem for us with a little building corner where we've got it laid out, and Brian and his people have laid it out for us, and we're like 3 feet encroaching into the setback line, and so we applied for a variance on that, and I guess the Board of Zoning Appeals recommended approval last Thursday night for it, so we're here tonight hoping that you all will approve it for us and let us get started out there.
Brian, this doesn't encroach on any utilities, right-of-way utility?
Easement or property line like that, just a 50-foot setback there.
Okay.
And that being a smaller parcel, makes it fit parking in there, we need stuff like that.
Okay.
Now, this is all in the property. It isn't outside of the,
All on the property, yeah.
yeah.
And how much is the total setback supposed to be?
15-foot setback.
Okay, so it'd be 12 instead of 15.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a corner sticks out here. So it's 3 feet
Yeah.
at the worst
Yeah. Okay.
dimension.
Yeah. It won't cause any traffic problems. Observation. Yeah.
Should there been an ordinance with this? Should there been an ordinance with this?
Well, we really need one.
We normally do.
Yeah, I didn't notice we had one.
No, we don't have an ordinance on it. I think in the past, we have done the variances without the ordinance.
I think you just approved them in the past.
Well, we can go ahead and approve it, and then if we feel necessary, we can pass an ordinance.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb. Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Anything else?
No, sir, thank you very much. Thank you all, and we look forward to doing more business in your city. We really enjoy it and enjoy being up here.
Got a question. When is the University of Tennessee going to start playing football?
As soon as Vanderbilt quits playing, I guess. I mean,
Well,
we'll see.
all the other schools in the SEC, for that matter.
That's right. That's right. They're not even picked in the top 25 this year, so.
Holy cow. What was the general's name that was a coach for so long?
Malin.
Nayland. I bet you he's spinning in his grave.
Probably is.
Okay.
Well, thanks again, and thank you for moving me to the front of the line. That'll help me get home tonight. I appreciate that.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Be careful on 57 till you get to 24.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Okay, what else we got now?
You got 8B. I don't know if that's the same ones or not. You got 8A and 8B.
Oh, yeah, that's the same thing,
Well,
isn't it?
one's on mechanic,
No, it's on mechanics.
Oh, okay, B's another horse. Okay,
Thanks, JD.
all right, yeah. Okay, what about the variance for South Mechanic Street? Who's got that? Okay, step up.
There's a fence line on Madison, actually, and Jones, and you guys wanted me to move it maybe 7 feet in, 13 feet, actually, 6 inches from the street.
And who was requesting, did you say, to move it?
No, what's that?
Did you say somebody was requesting you to move it, or you?
Yeah, the code inspector.
Oh, okay.
It was, I think it wasn't a hazard they couldn't see for turning.
Correct.
And it had, we didn't have a fence permit prior. So the code department asked that it be set back. And then the variance was so that it could be moved, but not all the way back, if I understood right.
Correct.
Instead of taking the fence completely out, that it could be moved back so the sight line would be visible.
Well, the zoning board met on this, haven't they?
I believe they did.
I see a stamp on there, so it looks like the zoning board, best I can see, August 10th at 5:30. To consider it, so I assume they approved it. Anybody know?
Yes.
You have a letter there, I think, that's from the zoning board that says they recommend that the council
see
approve it.
I see the request.
So how far do you have to move it then?
This is like 7 feet from where it stands now.
Okay.
And straight across,
So the new location will be at 13.6, is that right?
from the street.
Okay.
I don't see whether they approved it, but evidently they did.
Okay, well, I'm
They had a
sure they did.
Apparently that takes care of the
they had
sight
a meeting
distance problem.
on that there, see,
Okay.
I'm sure they
Well,
approved it.
yeah, they put it on the agenda, so I'm assuming they approved it. Is that right, Gail? It wouldn't be on the agenda.
That's the notes.
Yes.
Okay, what,
I thought it was.
we need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and second, call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else now? I see Gail is here. What's going on?
What number? Fire
They were
department?
on the fire
Yeah.
station. the other-
Talking about the fire station, okay.
Do you need to recognize somebody's birthday today?
Well, I had already told her happy birthday, but today is Gail's birthday.
Gail White, welcome back.
Yeah.
No cake anywhere?
Oh, and Gail too?
Terrence was here yesterday.
Oh,
Oh, it's Gail Caesar's birthday today also.
oh, well, okay. Happy
Hey,
birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Gail, happy birthday to you. How about that?
A little harmony there.
A little harmony.
A little harmony there, boys.
And we wish you many more.
That's Terrence's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Terrence was yesterday, yeah.
Oh,
53.
So let's do away with this salute.
Yeah.
53.
is it sufficient if we just say happy birthday, Terrence?
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Okay, we haven't forgot. All right, now,
Number 4 is Gail.
talking about, fire department, item number 4. Okay, what's this about? Change order request.
Well, we'll have Gail come up and talk about it, but, unfortunately, when you start remodeling old buildings, things come up that you didn't, it's hard to plan for. And this is a drainage pipe issue that we're going to have to spend a little more money than what we originally thought. So with that, Gail, if you want to be more specific on it, and Ben, that'd be great.
I'll ask Ben to talk through the technical aspects of it. It does have to do with plumbing and drainage. I would mention that your agenda item says the change order amount is $7,495. It actually is $6,207.54.
I like that better.
We went back and forth with Ben's office and our office with the construction crew to clarify some of the individual cost. line items that they had proposed in their original proposal that I think got distributed to you. So in the meantime, we got some revised information and cost figures back from them. So the actual amount is $6,207.54. So I'll ask Ben to explain the technical aspects.
Okay. The beginning of this change order actually involves a separate issue, which was that we had to put in new columns into the building for structural purposes. We had originally intended to leave a floor sink where it was and not touch it so that we didn't have to expend funds to be able to put in a new floor sink. Well, when they went to put in the column kept getting bigger for the footing, so it ended up taking out the floor sink. So once the floor sink got taken out, we had to put in a new floor sink. Now, when we put in the new floor sink, we're doing work in a utility room that we were not previously doing work in. So we go to put in the new floor sink, and then we've got floor drains there, which we were not going to touch, and we're leaving on old cast iron lines. Well, now that we're already into the utility room, the thing came up of, well, it would be nice if we knew that the floor drains were on the new lines. So,
Now, wait a minute. Is there any end to that story? I mean, one thing leads to another. We're playing dominoes.
it's a bouncing ball, yes.
Okay.
So this gets saw cut for the new drain line to go in, and the plumber discovers that originally there was no vent piping put in for the floor drains that were being taken out. So now we've got to put in floor drains, vent pipes, and sewer lines to be able to get the new floor drains put in with the floor sink. So that's what the total of the work ended up being, was for all of those separate little issues became the different change order items.
Okay, and that's where we come up with $6,207, is that right?
For the most part, yes.
Wait a minute, what do you mean for the most part?
For the most part, because the floor sink got put on a separate line item. So it was a separate change order. It was RFP number 3, and this is actually RFP number 4. And the reason why I have to discuss RFP number 3 with RFP number 4 so you can know how we got to it, and also because when the plumber was giving his proposal for RFP number 3 to put in the floor sink, he failed to put in the pipe for the sewer that ended up getting put into RFP 4.
I think I've got it, Rob. You got it?
Now, Gail, now I know why you said let him explain it.
Because he can say it where nobody understands it.
No, that wasn't the intent.
I just made a motion, we approve the change order and forget this.
I'm with, I second that.
I want to get a headache after.
Yeah.
We got a motion made and second, call the roll.
Commissioner Vanilla,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay, and thank,
You want to mention about future, our other request was, are there other future change orders? And he was just going to,
there's bound to be, I mean,
yeah, it's an old building.
Well, there have been a few things come up that once we started tearing out the existing construction, we found some bolts that were never put in the original columns and beams that had to be put in, and a few other things that minor in the overall scheme of things, but they've been taken care of as we've gone along. We did, if you remember, when we bid the project, we had what we referred to as unit prices in case we ran into bad soils. That we could authorize a change in the field on the spot to keep construction progress moving forward. And we gave different options for soil, compacted aggregate, and lean concrete backfilling materials. We did find one spot, relatively small, that did require some over-excavating and backfilling with lean concrete in order to keep moving along on schedule with the project. And that, we have the amount, it's $1,530. It hasn't come back through with all the paperwork to put it into an official change order for signature. The work has been done based on the monitoring of the amount of time and quantity of material that was used. So that will be coming through as a...
given all these complications, I don't see how this building ever functioned. How is it function as a fire station?
Well, if I understand Jerry right, when you guys got to tearing out the old building, did they not find the bolts for a missing I-beam and that was never put on the west end? Is that right?
Well, a whole column
A whole column, yes.
was missing from the northwest corner of
Yes.
the building.
That's why I say, how did that building stand? How could you use it?
Well, I don't know. You got to remember it made it through the May 8th storm, and before that, it made it through the microburst, so
The
it
tornado.
has some buoyancy to it, I'll tell you that. Of course, on that microburst, it knocked out every ceiling tile in the place, but he told me that that one beam was missing. I said, well, doesn't surprise me. No wonder northwest winds come through that wall like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Gail, how we looking on progress out there? I know it's kind of early on, but
I think it's going well. The contractor actually has projected an earlier completion date in their schedule than we had allowed in the overall completion schedule, and I think they're pretty well on track to do that. They're about, I'd say, 15 to 20% complete at this point. And
what date is that, or can you share that? What date, the new date? I'm just curious.
March.
They're good. It's January 21st.
Yeah, March, I think, is what we had given them, and they were backing off a couple of months from that. So,
good.
We've had good weather for construction, and they're out of the ground now. That's really the most critical part for us. So even if we have cold weather set in, they should be, well along to having the building enclosed and be able to keep working. So I think they may make it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. We thank you much.
Any other questions?
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Ben, thanks for that explanation, bud.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it, Ben. We got it. I think our new fire chief just likes to spend money, too.
He thought he worked for the street department.
I could use him.
Okay, we got anything else we need to
Steve.
take up? Okay, if not, let's see,
Steve.
sewer department, what's this all about?
Need-
You got Steve up there on number one.
I hate to think about that because we're talking about buying 5 vehicles that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's go on to the sewer department.
That does hurt you, doesn't it?
He's been,
Then we can come back.
He's got the lowest one.
But we just need approval to approve 400 West diffuser assemblies. I assume that's some kind of odor reduction thing or something.
Yeah.
And total cost of that, which is a budgeted item we have in the operating fund, is $14,000.
Okay, it's budgeted, but do you have the money?
Yes.
Okay, that's your motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Okay, okay, what's the operating account going to spend money for?
I'm sorry?
Item B.
Yep.
Oh, that's an addition. Let me go to this here. Here we go.
Here,
In addition to the maintenance shop, the BC contracting bid, it's 2 different bids, one from BC Contracting for $18,420, and one from RJ Construction for $24,663. We're wanting to accept a low bid from BC Contracting for $18,420 for that addition. Same fund, operating fund, the money's in there, and it's a budgeted item.
Okay, that's your motion?
I'll second that.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, let's go back to number 1. Spend all our money, John.
I only got 3 of these trucks.
3, where do the other 2 go?
You ask those people, you'll find out they're the big spenders, it's not me.
I get one.
You got one?
I got one panel truck.
And you find out per truck, they are way ahead of me.
And
I'm frugal.
And I want to let you know that we bought a 2017 model at a lesser price than some of the others.
Well, why didn't the others get the same deal?
I don't know. They wanted the 2018.
We got the 18 at the same price.
Yeah, and the International was 2017, I believe.
Who's?
I think the International was 2017,
Don't be taking that for him.
if I remember right.
I need all the help I can get.
Yeah,
Thanks, Steve.
you're welcome.
Well, now, we got a handout here that says,
Yep.
U.S. Bank Corporation had the low bid on the interest rate.
Right, yeah, that is a lease versus a loan. It's a little bit different. They treat it as a tax-exempt lease. The main difference is, there's two really main differences, is one, there's more, there's more paperwork involved, as you're aware of, Mayor, because it's just because of the lease versus the loan. There's more stuff to complete on it. And then the only other thing versus the loan, where we get the money and then we pay it out, with the lease, we will make payment to the vendor, then we will submit the invoice to the bank, and then they would reimburse us.
Yeah. Okay, now I got a question. It says the total payout is $256,000. Well, that's including the interest, but what is the actual cost for these 5 vehicles?
$243,500.
243?
500, yes.
Up there.
Way up there.
Yes.
I didn't see it.
Yep, 243,500.
Okay.
I think it actually comes out to $243,512.43.
And we'll save about 5,000 going with the fixed lease as opposed to the fixed loan, right?
Right, exactly.
Over 5 years.
Yes, over 5 years.
Okay, well, it's better than a kick in the shins, not as much as I would hope. So what's your pleasure? Somebody,
Well, I mean, I think the reason is just because of the low interest that we're getting, so
yeah, okay, somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion to go with U.S. Bank Corp. for 2.13% over 5 years.
Okay,
Second.
got a second? Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, let's see, tell us, Chris.
That's me.
No, it isn't Chris.
No, this-
Water
no,
Department,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, probably 3 weeks ago, we had our newest hire resign, and maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. She just resigned abruptly, which put us back to looking for another clerk. After looking through them all, actually Jennifer was in the running for the prior post, so we come back to her, and it was my recommendation that we hire her, and Tracy was in line with that, so I make a motion to hire Jennifer Gee as a cashier clerk in the water office.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay. What's this about the police department? New patrolman.
Yeah, we have a vacancy that we've already approved to fill. Adam Byrne ended up leaving, going to Texas, I think, Texas A&M. So through the merit board process, and I was fortunate to have time to sit in on the interviews, but we bring forward the name of Nicholas McLaughlin. I think he's an active policeman in Pinckneyville, so we won't have to.
No PTI or nothing?
No PTI? Okay.
No PTI?
No, he's already a certified officer.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Man, I hope that works out. But we've been burned more times than you can imagine because we hired a guy that had PTI and he worked someplace else.
Yeah.
I hope that is not the case here.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with hoping, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he interviewed well, I can say that, but, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think his
we did a
background
good-
checks was good.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and you know, I'm with the mayor here. We've got burnt big time because we thought we was saving the city
Yeah.
$9,000 or $10,000 in PTI cost, which it may be higher than that, but,
Wound up costing
and
a
that's,
heck of a lot more.
yeah, and individuals going on disability that we're paying for forever. So it's not always, I mean, I just hope we did our due diligence, and I got to echo his sentiments
Yeah.
that,
I mean, to me, that could happen with
Yeah.
somebody that's never
sure.
been a
that could happen.
Say in fairness, we've had a lot of good transplants too from other departments.
Yeah.
They work out just
Yeah,
fine.
we
Oh,
have,
sure,
we
it's
have,
been
but
good, but there's also been those that weren't so good, and
We
those,
have to see the glass half full, though. Let's not have it.
no,
Did he bring any reference?
yeah, but when you've been burned as many times as we have,
Yeah.
the hell with the glass.
no.
Paint the bill gives him any references?
He would,
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Everything checked out.
Well, they were happy to get
They
rid
glad
of
to get rid of
him.
him, or you think they really meant he was good?
he was, his background has been vetted because.
He's on what?
Police officers, they go through that.
He's on what, Gail?
They go through and they get lots of references, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, Pinckneyville's going to give him a top-notch recommendation.
We wanted to get him out of
Well,
there.
sure.
Yeah, as long as you do.
Never go to a city employer for a recommendation, because they'll
Well, they also.
pass those out.
Right. See you later.
Hey, Jim, that's what the coal mines used to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, greatest workers you'll ever have. Wave him all the way down the road.
Okay, so,
Gee, I'll make my motion to approve Nicholas McLaughlin.
I'll second it.
call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Beller?
Yay. Okay, part-time GIS employee at the cemetery
Let's table
department.
that out. Take that off the agenda.
Want to table
We're not
that?
ready for him.
Okay. That brings us to, where's Chris? There he is.
Chris, we were so worried last meeting that we didn't have a dozen hires.
Yeah, there were
but-
like two.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I didn't want to disappoint, I guess.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, it's back up a little bit this time around. Council, Mayor, good evening. We've got, I believe, 8 part-time hire recommendations, requests. First one for 2 job classifications, Mary Sierra Dawn Duke for child watch at $9 an hour, and camp counselor for $9 an hour, so within the same, essentially the same department on that one. Mackenzie Parker, also child watch at $9 an hour and camp counselor at $9 an hour. Martin Jennings for personal trainer. We've got a personal trainer that's resigning, and we've got one coming on, great selection for personal trainer at $30 an hour, group fitness instructor at $15 an hour, sports instructor at $15 an hour, swim instructor at $20 an hour, and that's for a potential assist with some aspects of our swim team coming up, and also wellness orientation attendant at $12 an hour. That's several there for Martin Jennings. Next one, Kim McVicker.
Oh, yeah, Steve, that'll make the,
Really
oh.
great pleasure.
Yeah, wait till they see that tomorrow.
Yeah.
5 different pay cuts.
Yeah, and I figured I'd,
Yeah,
yeah.
It takes as long to do the hub payroll as it does to do the rest of the city.
I don't doubt it. Well, they've got more employees.
Well, that's,
well, they got the different pay classifications.
Oh, yeah, I know.
and I thought with that one that we would, a couple of these that I would just ask for them now, and you'll see down the line, I've got some additional job classifications that we didn't foresee, adding, so I figure I ask for them.
Now, are these new
Now.
positions or what?
No, same existing positions.
Okay, we're
I'll let you know if there's
expanding on the number of,
job classifications, no. No, we have, not in that case, no.
no, wait a minute. What do you mean, not in that case?
Well, what we've actually done,
You do, you don't.
they are not there. What we've actually done further down is clarify job classifications for each of the sports departments, so we would have consistency with a staff position with every area, and you'll see that in a moment. I can explain that.
Yeah, Chris, He's a lawyer. He's gonna walk you right around in a circle and you're gonna hang yourself. Just keep going.
Okay, if I may. Okay.
You mean may you hang yourself?
No, can I keep?
I'd move right along.
Okay. Okay, the next one is Kim, there's only one for each of these next two. Kim McVicker for group fitness instructor at $15 an hour. Shelley Kane at for a group fitness instructor at $15 an hour. So they each got one. Then we have David Fuller for a maintenance position at $8.50 an hour. Wellness attendant at $9 an hour. Gym attendant at $9 an hour. And staff tackle football at
Again.
$8.50 an hour.
That brings me to a question. Are we paying our coaches to coach?
No, they're volunteer coach. These are staff that are assisting with the conduct of home games. And we're trying to get also a lot of volunteer help with concessions and that type of thing. But there's always a potential need for gate entry, concessions, assisting with equipment,
Okay.
but not for coaching, yeah. And then two additional, there's Nathaniel Shaw, personal trainer at $30 an hour, group fitness instructor at $15 an hour, and sports instructor at $15 an hour.
Tell me about this personal trainer. What do they do that they're worth $30 an hour?
Which one? Well, for personal training, it's by appointment, so it's not as though they have staff hours in a block of time. But if they have an appointment, then that hub member is paying $60 an hour. So the personal trainer, pretty standard in our market in the area, gets 50% of that. So it's revenue-based, fee-based program, and it's the only fee-based program we have in the fitness area right now. We're trying to.
It's no different than giving swimming lessons personally.
That's right. Same thing.
Right.
It really is the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that usually one-on-one, or could it
It's
be?
one-on-one. There's partner training as well. There's
You pay that for your training?
That's what we talked about in a previous meeting. You were going to get some training.
Partner training, is it like kind of discounted?
Like a semi-private, discounted, yeah.
You crack me up.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the four.
And then there is, yeah,
There's one person that was left off the agenda,
Oh.
and she didn't fulfill all the requirements.
and then the results came in on the requirements. Amelia Anderson, it's A-M-E-L-I-A Anderson, A-N-D-E-R-S-O-N, and that's for part-time lifeguard at $9.50 an hour. And that's the only job classification there.
Okay.
I think I had Nathaniel Shaw, I said all the.
I'll make a motion to approve the aforementioned personnel at the listed salary and positions.
That's under item A and B.
No, just A.
Just A.
Just A.
Stay? Okay.
We're not down there yet.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
Call roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Now, go ahead.
Okay. Now, our job classification additions for current staff, Jen Rodriguez, who's currently a group fitness instructor and personal trainer, and that's for wellness orientation attendant at $12 an hour, so one additional for her. Alec Jimenez for tackle football staff at $8.50 an hour and flag football staff at $8.50 an hour. And he's currently gym attendant and camp counselor, and he's staying on with us, fortunately. Third one there, Sam Swinford, who's our current basketball instructor, the only one right now, and that's tackle football staff and also flag football staff for the current football seasons in progress.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion made.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay.
I might say between Chris and Ben Boyd has been very enlightening. Have you understood anything they've said?
I understand Greek. Why wouldn't I understand them?
Yeah.
Okay, what's this about equipment purchase?
Okay, so within our fitness center, to keep it updated and have member options and maintain the memberships, we've got 2 pieces of equipment that are within budgeted. It represents about 12 to 14% of our budget this year for equipment purchases. And that's a cardiovascular piece of equipment, the Octane XR600 recumbent elliptical machine with standard console. So that was from Orthotech in Heron, $4,079.30 for that machine. I think you might have within your packet the quote that they provided us and some discounts to work with us. And then the second piece of equipment, Titan Power Rack, strength training equipment for a variety of exercises, a squat rack as well as pressing rack, $1,853.60. So the Orthotech proposal in total, $5,932.90. That includes freight.
Is this going to replace any equipment, or
No, these are additions. And we've
how about
got,
the spacing you guys have there? Is
Yeah.
this going to be enough space for this without?
there will, yeah, right now we do have quite a bit of extra space. We want to maintain an openness that we have.
Right, because
but we-
people really brag about it.
So we're being very careful about adding equipment. This particular cardio piece does not require power. It's self-contained, so we can put it in various places. And then the power rack, we've got a location for it. So we're going to maintain a good deal of openness at this point. We're going to be careful going forward that we don't lose that
Right.
as much open space as
Very
we.
appealing.
Is this the first equipment that we've bought from Orthotech?
It's the second group of equipment. We purchased 4 Octane ellipticals, upright ellipticals from Orthotech. We hope to continue to do business with them,
Yeah.
so we're moving in that direction.
I'm not familiar with this stuff, but what is recumbent elliptical standard console?
Okay,
Describe that.
sure.
How
We
does it
have
work? What does it do?
elliptical, it's a cardiovascular for heart, lung, conditioning muscle.
That's the purpose of it. What is
Yeah,
it?
the great thing about this equipment is, in a seated position, that's the recumbent position. We've got recumbent, like seated bicycles. This particular one is a seated upper, lower body exerciser with an elliptical motion, like having an ellipse, as opposed to just a complete cycle. It makes it accessible to senior population, to all populations, rehabilitation, senior, because they can easily sit down in that, have, with maybe reduced joint range of motion, they can work the upper and lower body. So it actually serves multi-populations. So what we did with this purchase is we have like our strength population with the power rack, and we've got senior and other populations for maybe new exercisers for the recumbent elliptical. So great piece that we want to maybe add a couple more in the future as well. We have a lot of use of our recumbent bicycles, and we have requests for getting more of those. We have 4 of those right now.
So when you use recumbent, they're either sitting down or laying down.
Yeah, and they're in a seated position. Back support, full back seat.
So this funds is something we've budgeted for, I guess? or-
Yes, yeah, we budgeted
Yeah.
about 40,000 in equipment purchases, less than last year, but we're focusing a little more on strength equipment this year. We got a lot more cardiovascular, yes. Yeah,
And it's, if you're down at the fire station, those guys are all the time asking for this strength equipment and this power rack, that's right up their line.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
I'll make that motion too.
I'll second that motion.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
and Mayor Buck.
Yay. Okay, we're moving
thank you.
on pretty
I
good.
think that's all of it. Yep.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, who can tell us about the Boynton Street Community Center?
As the agenda describes, item A would be to approve the resignation of Daniqua Meeks, who has been part-time at Boynton Street, and she's moving on to a new position someplace else. And so Stephanie's put that in. We will be seeking to fill that position probably in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
Be my motion to approve their resignation.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Okay, we can handle the next two together.
Second that.
Yes, there are, you have a letter from the board president asking for the resignation, or to approve the resignation of those two board members.
Yeah, okay, if they want to resign, then we need to approve it for Shannon Moore and Julia Pfeiffer.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay. Library. Anybody to speak for the library?
David Patton has received a resignation request from Sheila Fredman. She'll be retiring in October, and he'll be seeking to fill that position someplace closer to when Sheila would be leaving, for Sheila Fredman. She's been with us for a while, but she's going to be retiring and probably headed back to Utah.
Headed back to where?
Utah, where her husband's the scout for the Utah Jazz.
Oh, boy.
Long time.
Yeah.
Scout.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know,
That's
that's,
a little
And she's
thing.
been, they've maintained, I mean, he lives in Marion and travels back and forth a lot.
We
fantastic.
affectionately called him Scoop.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't it a long-time coach from McLeansboro, or Sloan?
Yes.
Jerry Sloan.
Jerry
Jerry
Sloan.
Sloan,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, Sheila's been with the library a long time. She's done a great
Yeah,
job.
been a great employee.
Yeah, she should be commended for the good work.
Yes. I'll
Okay.
I'll reluctantly make that motion to approve her resignation.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay. Yolande Peterson has agreed to serve another term as chairman of the Marion Culture and Civic Center Board. I would recommend her reappointment.
So moved.
I make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
One moves, the other seconds. Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay, what's this about vacating a portion of Stadium Drive?
Brian, do you,
Have that one, sure.
oh, that's fine.
Get a, something back.
Yeah, I believe we have something in the packet. Glenn Clarida would, he said a hospital board meeting and will be here shortly, but this was something that has been requested, it's Stadium, not, instead of Stadium Drive, it's Stadium View Drive, as specified on the ordinance on the agenda, it says Stadium Drive. And this has been requested by, I believe, Doug Bradley and Lynn Holmes, because of a prospective developer. And I didn't, no one had any negative opinions on that, so.
Go ahead.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay, now, proposed ordinance 3390, vacating part of Hay Avenue between Lot 34 and Block 1 and Lot 17 and Block 2. That part of the alley lying north of Lots 34, 33 and the west 20 feet of Lot 32 and Block 1 of Sunset Terrace Edition.
Gail, I'm assuming 15, 16, and 17 is Motel Marion, is that correct?
I am not familiar with that ordinance, so.
Ordinance 3390, you're asking, it's next to Motel Marion.
15, 16.
I believe that's that side street to vacate
Yeah,
that.
it is.
Or
Yeah.
the side street where we have
Yeah.
an architect.
And part of it's to the north also.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now this is vacating the entire street, not just half.
That's
Well,
correct.
Okay, that means the property owner on either side gets half.
That's correct. But the physical driveway that's there
Yeah,
isn't really within the actual alley lines. The majority of that, I'm going to call it driveway for lack of a better word, is actually on the landowner
which landowner?
to the east.
To the east.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
If you were to go and physically look at it, you might think that from the roadway we were vacating, it's not.
Okay, where is what we're vacating in reference to the road that is there in use? Is it to the east of that?
Well,
Actually,
most of
there,
it would be to the west of where the actual physical road is. The alley line, where they put that driveway is not in the alley.
I know, and I'm trying to find out where the alley actually
The alley
is.
is actually to the west of that.
Is there that
Some
much?
of the road is in the alley.
Oh, I would think so, because it seems to me it'd be pretty narrow between the structure and the actual alley.
Is there a 50-foot width
No, sir, I think it was a 25-foot total.
in the plat here?
Okay,
So if we vacate, does that mean somebody's got to move that driveway?
The landowner can do whatever they want with it on their property. My understanding is that piece of property is wanting to be developed for business or commercial purposes.
Oh, yes, you're right.
And I'm not sure if they're going to use that land or not, but they are aware that that oil and chip section right there is not necessarily fully in the alley.
okay, now, is it Richie that owns the Motel Marion?
Yeah.
And he's agreeable?
That I don't know.
Well,
I
I think
have
we need,
heard different stories about whether.
well, we need to find out, because this could affect him. I mean, they've been using that to go around to the back.
We
And before him, the oil company to the north of that was as well.
Mayor Butler, if I might add, Doug Phillips, when he saw this, had some concerns, so he went out and met with the...
Yeah, we spoke to them
Mr.
today.
Were you there, John?
Yeah.
Well, you go ahead.
Richie has decided not to even use that alley from here on. He's going to revamp his drive at front and have his buses come in Carbon Street on Main, so this is not going to be a problem with him. We first thought it might be a problem affecting his business, which could be, if you keep the buses from unloading, if he owned that alley. And I talked to Sheila today. She didn't plan to use it all that, her building, but she'd like to have the frontage. That's what she told me. But she's under the impression, and everybody else was, that you had a 50-foot easement there, and you're saying we don't have it.
I don't think it's 50 feet.
Well,
My memory is, Glenn had it drawn out. I think it was 25 feet.
Well, it might be. But anyhow, Richie had no objection to the vacating, because he's
He's
going to
got no
revamp his...
objection, and it suits Sheila.
Yeah. But this blacked out part, see, we're vacating where they've shaded this in. It looks to me like, are we going to vacate hay all the way up?
Well, we're going to the back of the property
See,
line.
now he's calling it a 50-foot here on this draft there. See, that's called a 50-footer there. Now, the alley is not that. The alley's 20 feet.
Well, where do you separate the alley from Hay Avenue?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Are we going to vacate this?
I don't know that the
Vacate it all the way up?
Well, no, just what's here.
does it,
I stand corrected. The 20-foot alley was the one to the north.
Yeah.
And the one that the bus used is 50. I
Yeah.
apologize for that.
Well, okay,
If we vacate it all the way up, then Motel Marion then would assume ownership of that entire road up there, because these are the motels here, I think, isn't
well,
it?
yeah, but they're not requesting that we vacate that whole
So what do we
thing.
do with that dead end?
Well,
Right here.
as far as I can tell, the city's never maintained that, has it?
We've done some, yes.
We have?
Take from this down here, because Mr. Violet was complaining about holes in his property up here, and we filled up with, yes, we've done some maintenance on it, and we've agreed to maintain this area here for Sheila, which we will.
So problem you're going to have, we wouldn't be able to get
No,
back here to maintain if we vacate that.
no, you have to come around 4th Street and come down.
Oh, is there access that way?
That's the way the bus has been coming up, coming
Okay.
down. But why would we not just vacate all Hay Avenue, be done with it? It's useless to
Well,
us.
if we vacate this, why would we agree to maintain it?
Because she was going to get half of it, see, she thought.
What difference does it make?
Well,
Who
she
gets
wasn't too sure
If the
that-
city is vacated, the city has nothing more in it, why should we maintain it?
We told her we'd get it in shape, but it's going to be a little grading and a little bit topping, it's no big deal. But it's a mess.
As long as it isn't an annual maintenance deal, I got no
I
problem.
agree with that 100%, but we will get it back in shape because we've allowed it to deteriorate pretty badly.
Okay, so we get it up to snuff, and
Maintain
from
it.
then on, it's up to her,
I understand that.
Richie or somebody else.
Whoever
let
ends
me-
up with it.
Let me ask you this, John, was 34, 33, and 32, was that the former Violet property?
Yes.
And then 31, 30, and 29, was that the former Melvin property? And then east of 29 is Ameren. If I'm looking at this right?
Yeah, you'd be going towards Ameren.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm not
okay,
sure who owns all that, but that's
yeah.
where you headed.
Yes, Melvin did have, I don't know how
Yes.
much he had, but he had at
Yes, he
least,
had, there was an old brick house there.
yeah.
Okay,
All right, having said all that, what's your pleasure?
Have we made a decision, we're going to leave the rest of the Hay Avenue, we're going
Well, I-
to indicate only to where this is
I don't think we have
indicated?
any choice because it's not part of this description, is that right?
There is absolutely nothing here to indicate vacation of Hay Avenue beyond the part that is up with the boundary of
Okay.
the Motel
Johnny, you're
Marion.
saying we can still access Hay Avenue from the back end, right?
Yeah, if we want to.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
weird.
think, you're not gonna get no ambulance or fire trucks down there.
No, I don't, why we,
No.
eventually, I
Yeah.
think we need to come up with another deal and vacate this whole thing eventually, because
Yeah.
why should we maintain this little strip of land through there, see? But right now, we got this, what is 33?
Yeah, now, the Motel Marion owns on both sides of Hay Avenue.
3390.
Yeah, 3390, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 3390.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, let's see, did we, 3389, vacating portion Stadium Drive. Okay, that was 3390. 3391. Services agreement on the Second Amendment to TIF 5 between the city and Jacob Klein, the Economic Development Corporation. Yeah.
This is our, I would say, our usual professional service agreement for amendments. The purpose of this professional service agreement is the city has a desire to amend commonly call it TIF 5, which is the Pepsi plant TIF. And we have an amendment to increase some of the costs and some of the projects that will go into this. A redevelopment agreement will be developed and amended later that will be presented. This was just the agreement with the Jacob and Klein and the Economic Development Group to write and present and do all of the,
To be doing what needs to be done.
yes, to get all of the amendment ready for council presentation. So this is their agreement
Having
with
that
us.
explanation, what's your pleasure with 3391?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 3391.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, what's this resolution 2017-16?
As the amendment is prepared, this is also for the same TIF district. This is for Crisp Realty, and what this would do would be to add project cost and possibly some land some increased land for the project to be located in that TIF. And so this is an inducement agreement before the amendment is done that says the city recognized that this would be included, or these projects would be included in that amendment.
Sounds simple enough to me. Okay, what's your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2017-16.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
and Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, we've got ordinance 3392, hotel tax amendment, and 3393, liquor ordinance amendment. Gail, would you go get copies of those off of my desk?
Certainly.
I don't know.
I got it.
Yeah, but I've got some notes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, actually, 3392 is just, we're just cleaning that up, right? Because it had a sunset provision in it. Is that correct?
The one that deals with the hotels, the significant change is the addition of a vacation rental.
Yeah, and we just got those. Have you had a chance to go over the,
So nothing else has changed.
Nothing else has changed other than that.
okay, now, we draw paragraph F, the definitions, vacation rental. Dwelling unit or portion thereof offered for rent for a period shorter than 30 days to any person other than a member of the owner's family, as those terms are defined in this ordinance. The term vacation rental shall not include hotels or motels licensed pursuant to Chapter 5. Then we go on to 2A. Hereby levied and impose the use of and privilege of renting a hotel, motel, or vacation rental room when the city of Marion taxes 6% of the rental or leasing charge. Now, is the only thing we're adding there is the vacation rental room.
That's correct, and that's it.
All right, then, leasing for each 24-hour period, any portion there, provided that the tax shall not be levied and imposed upon any permanent resident or to a person who works and lives in the same hotel.
Who's going to be responsible for collecting it from the homeowner? With respect to vacation rentals, I mean, who's going to be responsible for collecting that?
Part of that would be built in, I mean, actually, it's self-reporting. It would require us to, check it from time to time. I have been in contact with Airbnb. It's possible that if it goes through their system, that they would collect the tax for us and send it to us.
Who is that?
It is an organization that basically sets up a web page that I can go on the internet to their site and look at different vacation homes throughout the United States.
I've got a vacation home, but I don't get my name in that system. So what good does it do for me for the city to contact that system?
A lot of people do that because they want the exposure.
You've got
to get
one in
national
town,
advertising,
B&B.
if you will.
It's been the primary source of where most of the Marion vacation rental places, when you go through those various, there's 3 or 4 various websites that have vacation rentals. Most of the Marion sites, Carbondale and our surrounding area, use that site.
Well, my concern is how do we get a list of the vacation rentals? Are we going to be relying on just happenstance? We find out?
The last ordinance you guys passed requires them to be registered so that they would be legal within the city, so that we can make sure that the life, health, safety code are enforced for these organizations.
Okay, so how are we going to make sure that the vacation rental is in the system, is on the record?
They would register like hotels, bed and
Well,
breakfast.
no, wait a minute. Now, a motel is out there, it's a big place, you can see it, but I've got my bed and breakfast vacation rental house over on North Smith Street.
Part of that checking can be done by the internet. I mean, we would have to be very honest, like I said, it's self-reporting. We would have to go on there, you can do a search for vacation rental homes in
But
the city.
that's no different than our hotels.
They
They,
self-report.
yeah, they self-report.
Well, yeah, but there is a building that's got 50 rooms in it that you
Yeah.
can't get by and say we don't exist. But
Well, no. That's,
Okay.
hang on, that's only part of it. But do we know for a fact they're reporting the amount of rooms that they rent out every night?
or do we know that they're reporting
You can do
anything?
spot checks anytime you
No,
want.
yeah, we can do,
Somebody in your
that's
office.
right, you're exactly right, Commissioner, we can do spot checks on them. Have we done that? No, we go on the honesty basis.
How are you going to do a spot check? Drive up and down each street and say, oh, there's a...
No, I'm talking about the
The hotel.
hotels. These people that are doing this, Mayor, are doing this intently to rent these homes out. They're not hiding
To
nothing,
circumvent.
but they're not playing,
Who isn't hiding anything?
these people that are on this internet service. They want people to know that they got their homes.
But if they're not on there, how are you going to know?
Well, no, that's a different
If
horse.
they don't advertise in the paper or on the internet, and I would say
Yeah.
most of these, we haven't found any in the newspaper,
Yeah.
so they are on the internet. And it's the new way of people doing that.
It's no different than, well, I was talking to you just the other day, Uber.
Yeah.
We have a Uber service in Marion,
I've heard that.
and do we know who these people are?
No.
We do not,
Don't
Yeah.
have a clue.
don't have a clue, but I think it's in the best interest of the city that we find out who they are. We don't want,
What does Uber do?
they're a taxi service.
Like Lyft.
Yeah.
What?
They're a taxi service. They'll use their, private vehicles to go pick you up. And, and I'm not saying they are, they're probably not, but, they could be anything.
It's all done with credit cards. I mean, there's no cash traded, right?
Yeah,
Done on the internet.
Yeah.
it's all in there. You can go to Uber of Marion, Illinois, and there's a telephone there.
In fact, the cost is cheaper than usually taxis, but
Yeah.
the taxi service is licensed with the city.
Yeah. And they're-
They check their drivers and these things.
Well, it seems to me they're putting the taxi company to a disadvantage.
Absolutely.
Well,
As are these vacation rentals to the hotels and motels.
Wait, let's take one thing at a time. If Uber is, maybe they're not intending to evade anything, but they
Maybe.
are.
Yes.
Okay, now I don't care if they're using private vehicles or not, they're using the city streets to make money. That qualifies for us, I think, to absolutely have some kind of control. Now, we need to be checking out what needs to be done.
I think,
That's
and I think an ordinance is in hand that we have to regulate this, because you're absolutely right.
Okay,
Yeah.
we need to do something because nothing is happening. They're in operation, apparently. They're conveying people, and I'm sure they're making money. But where does enforcement of the ordinance come into play?
Several municipalities up north have already adopted one. I'll be at a meeting Thursday talking to a couple. I know Chicago has, and...
Okay, let's see what is going on, because just having it on the books isn't enough. You got to be able to enforce it in some manner.
Well, and going back to the motion on hand, or the agenda item on hand, the same is true for vacation rentals. Many cities, Steve serves on the Illinois Municipal League Home Rule Committee for attorneys. And he actually worked on the ordinances for vacation rentals with the other attorneys, because they also aren't following the rules. They don't have life safety code necessities. So we're actually endangering people that might stay there because the homes aren't checked. Also, people are paying a fee, and they're not following the rules that any bed and breakfast or any other rental facility that was licensed with the city.
Okay, then we've got to get something in place that we can control that.
And that's what, this is the second piece of the first piece was to put together the registration and so bed and breakfast or a vacation rental.
Okay, stop right there. How do we enforce registration?
Oh, I could give you a list of 10 right now.
Well, you give me a list of 10, but then what do we do with the
We're going
list?
to we would send out a letter to those 10 establishments.
What about the 10 is not listed?
Yeah, then,
Well, I meant
If
that's,
they choose
but
to continue to violate it, then we have no choice.
yeah, but what about the 10 or 20 that are not listed?
Well, the ones who are currently renting have already, they're making quite a bit of profit, especially this week.
Well, sure they are, but we,
All you have to do is look on the internet, and I'll show you tomorrow. We have gone through the list.
well, this thing has got a hole in it big enough to drive a Mack truck through.
You gotta start somewhere, right?
Kind of like catching speeders. You're not going to catch every speeder on the roadway. You just catch the ones you can.
Yeah, but we're right here in
point well
town.
taken.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we're right here in town, and we're trying to say these people are going to have a vacation rental, they've got to do this and this and this, but we have no way of really identifying all of them.
It's
How do we-
Mayor, it's
Don't have
no
anything.
different than somebody renting their home. You think we got every home that's rented in Marion under codes?
No.
That answer is no. And unless they tell us down there, or they tell us
Yeah.
over there in that water office, we don't know. Now, there's times, a lot of times when they come in here and apply for water, that will catch them. They'll say, do you own this home? They say, no, we're renting it. And then we can get with codes and saying, oh, hey, this isn't on our rental list.
And
This is exactly, I mean, it's just like,
This is a place to start.
yeah, I mean, this is, this is just a place to
Okay,
start.
all right.
I got one thing to ask too. I've been wanting to know, how does this preclude R1s from renting a home? Because it's rented, R1s are no
Single-family
rentals.
residence, yeah.
No rentals in an R1. Now, does this let R1 rent?
This ordinance doesn't address that.
I know it does, but
But
our
the
zoning
zoning
says you can't
does.
do it.
The last one touches upon that, yes, in the process. To answer your question, it's possible that in an R1, that a vacation rental could take place.
So if my neighbor rents out some and I don't want him to, I have no recourse.
No.
Well, we can tailor the ordinance to take care of that.
Right now, it doesn't read it.
No. Well, when we had the zoning ordinance, we didn't know about vacation homes. This is a new concept, and so we...
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, this has come about in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we've got to get with it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
All
grab this tiger by the tail, and either we turn loose or hang on.
Well, I've been asked about the R1 neighborhood, if this is going to allow it.
Which should not be allowed in R1. I'm not even sure about R2.
I'm not either.
Ordinances.
Because you're violating the integrity of the zoning.
That's right.
And the neighborhood.
Well, I'm the neighbor. Well, anyhow, this is something I think we got to give some more consideration to. I'm not ready to...
But the zoning ordinance wouldn't apply to the registration and the taxing for hotel tax.
But no, it maybe
I'm
not.
not worried about the motel tax. I'm just worried about having rental property in an R1
But
zone.
that's not what this ordinance is addressing.
That'd preclude it.
It doesn't preclude it, that's right. There are several things I think we've got to...
Can we have this ready for next?
I'll be traveling with the mayor soon, and I'll sit.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, we need to have some high-powered discussion about that. Okay, well, let's table that for the time being. Now, let's get into the 3393 liquor ordinance amendment. And boy, this is,
Here we go.
well, it's just to start with, they talk here, a grocery or drugstore means an establishment
Steve, pay attention.
whose store is 11,000 square feet. Now, what that does is rule out Small's Grocery.
And he does
They
not
are a
want,
grocery store, but they're not 11,000 square feet by half.
Hey, that's a fair point, actually.
Church Point.
Sure, I always raise fair points.
yeah. And I spoke with the owner, and he is not in the least bit interested in putting liquor in this. And this was
What
for
bar
you
are we
now.
talking about? With just one person? I'm just curious.
Bruce,
Who?
Smalls,
Yeah. Well,
Bruce.
Oh, I know, he's not interested, but what I'm trying to say is, this is not feasible. So suppose some guy does have a little grocery store and has got 10,000 square feet, and he would like to have a liquor
That
license.
was put in there for you, because you
Well,
did not want.
you can take it out for
Okay,
me.
then we'll take it out, and then we'll allow convenience stores to be able to do it.
No, let's just get rid of that, would suit me fine.
To allow them to do it?
No, to delete the drug and the grocery stores from possibility of liquor license. I'm not going to issue any liquor license for a grocery store or a drug store. No way. Fortunately, for those who would like to see that, I've got less than 2 years to go on my term.
Well,
Has Carbondale done something like this, or?
Theirs is not limited in the manner that this is. They do allow convenience store sales.
Okay, so no one's being discriminated against or
Well,
anything?
you see,
Designed to prohibit that.
you see, my thinking is this. You give it to one convenience store like Huck's. They've got 3 Huck's stores. You give one a liquor license. Why shouldn't you give the other 2 a liquor license?
Well, you should.
If you do that, then Casey is going to come in. They've got a couple of places. They said, we are entitled to a liquor license.
That's not what that says.
I know I'm telling you what it will be, how it
In
can
terms of
work.
revenue, what could this bring in, Anthony?
I don't have any idea. Don't have any idea. I can tell you this, though. We're going to, because of the state budget that happened to get hidden this year, they're going to take 2% of our home rule tax, which is going to be about $70,000 this year, at least $140,000 in years to come.
Wait a minute.
Right now-
Wait. What do you mean they're going to take 2% of our home rule tax?
Administrative fees, isn't it?
Yeah,
Administration fee,
yeah.
state.
Your state of Illinois is going to take 2% of your home rule tax, which on an annual basis.
We get the money and then they're going to.
No, they're going to take that money before they send you your portion of the tax, Mayor.
Yeah, we'll never see it.
Yeah,
They'll tell us how much the total was, deduct out their amount,
Yeah.
and then pay us the,
that's part of the new budget.
Well, you can see why the governor vetoed this idiot budget. It's crazy.
No, this is already
Well,
done.
now,
I know it's
remember-
already done, but it's crazy, and the idiots in the legislature overrode the veto.
yeah, but you'll remember that governor at one time wanted 50% of the income tax too. And what would that would have really crippled us.
Oh, well, yeah.
What are we talking about? We was talking about $1.3 million or something like that? If he'd
around,
make it a little bit better.
$50,000.
Oh, okay, $850,000.
Whatever it is, it's too much.
It was absolutely too much. And the thing of it is, here again, I don't know what this is going to bring. It may not, but,
Well, it's-
find something, and
Well-
I can tell you this, and I put it out on Facebook, and not everybody liked it. Becky was one that didn't. Probably of the responses I got, I had 225 likes. I'm going to say, well, let's just say 10 people didn't like it for various reasons. One of them didn't. Now, one of them I can tell you this, he lives in the state of Florida. He's a former Marion resident, and he went on to tell me that wine and beer was a drug, but guess what he owns?
A beer store.
He owns a packaged liquor store.
You're making money off of it.
And making money off of it, and Tim Maldacious called him out on it.
Yeah.
And
See, I have a problem how you exclude them, Anthony. You know,
Johnny?
And I'm not quarreling on this
No,
thing,
no,
but how do you,
I
how do you
agree.
pick and choose? You have the big guy and the little guy. For example, CVS drugstore, or what a drugstore. Okay, we got Dollar Tree that does the same basic stuff. They got all that cosmetic stuff. They
Yeah.
don't sell drugs, but they sell all that other stuff. But do you tell Dollar Tree they can't have it? See, it's a problem how you're going to pick and
understand it.
choose.
Well, see,
That's my problem.
if Walgreens has it, CVS.
They got to have it, sure.
If Huck's have it, Casey's have it.
You nearly have to throw it open now. I don't know how you're going to exclude it, my problem.
If Kroger has it,
But he doesn't want to. He's already told you that it doesn't matter. We can pass this tonight. He's not going to issue a liquor license for 2 years. He's told you, except maybe to Walmart and Target. Would that be
I didn't
exclusive?
say except.
Yeah. Well, you said you wouldn't want to let him sell it in a grocery store or drugstore, so that pretty much
That takes care of
limits.
Walmart.
I'm just
Well, yeah,
expressing my opinion.
Target too.
See, hey, look,
Target.
Yeah, that takes care of everybody.
I do not like to see government depend on the sale of liquor to raise money
Or
to
gambling.
operate the government.
My God, Mayor, I cannot believe you're saying that when we got how many video gaming licenses in this town?
Yeah, but in total, what does it amount to? Maybe $100,000. Okay.
Do you think you're going to make $100,000 off of this?
No.
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 You'd be lucky total to make, I don't know.
So why have it? But the only justification, in my mind, is to raise money. It's just like with the gambling. I don't like gambling. I abhor it. And I don't need to mean to inject my personal opinion into the discussion.
But I will agree with you one thing on that gambling. If we didn't take that 5%, it was going to go to the state. I will agree with you there, so,
yeah.
we might as well.
Oh, sure, but I'm talking about the overall concept. That is what is bad, and of course, well, you can go even further back. We know prohibition didn't work. It was tried, and the people are going to buy alcohol, regardless of what you might think about it. That is the human nature. Okay, I accept that. I don't like it.
You
but
know
I
what,
accept
and
it.
I can honestly say, up here on this council, none of these places are going to get rich off any of us, because,
No.
they're just not.
One thing I see this ordinance is hurting our local existing liquor stores that are probably owned by local people. This is going to put it probably more corporate money going out of.
Well, hang on there, Jim. Let's talk about who they are. Illinois Liquor Mart. Okay. Look where he's got his liquor stores at. Speakeasy. I mean, now, if you go to Heron, look where Speakeasy is. It's right in between Kroger, Walmart, Roll 'em Up, and whatever is in Tom's Mad Pricer now. All selling liquor, and he's coexisting. And he knew that when he built that store there. Because Jeff's a pretty frugal businessman. And if he didn't think he could make some money,
Well,
but the thing of it is,
don't forget the video gaming comes into play there.
yes.
The problem is, too, we have an establishment already selling beer and wine, and others aren't. So I hear a lot of that complaint.
Yeah.
And I got a big problem. I'm like the mayor. I'm a teetotaler, and I just soon they not be allowed, but it's here. You have to live with it. But it's sometimes I wonder if it's fair to the competitors to not have it.
Depends. And you see,
Let's take it away from Sam's.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Here, the premises for Sam's to come into this town, one of their prerequisites was they wanted a liquor license.
Yeah.
And they have a liquor license, and they, of course, they, under our package liquor ordinance, They can open at 1 on Sunday and quit selling at 10, which they're not open
Yeah,
until
but
10 anyway.
they're in rather
Yeah.
controlled circumstances.
Yeah.
It's a club membership type thing too,
Yeah.
might make a difference, I don't know.
Well, it was a different game pretty well entirely. But see, you don't have the same thing going for Walmart that we had to contend with Sam's. And under sort of controlled circumstances, you go out there and their liquor section is off to itself.
Okay, let's look at another aspect of this. You're against that, and you've already said you will not issue a liquor license. Buffalo Wild Wings, they're a sports bar and restaurant, and they would like for their this to be amended to where they on Sundays they can sell from noon to 11, and that's basically
For football.
Football games start at noon. They'll end sometime after 10:30 or 11. I mean, I don't stay up for them, but is there an issue with that?
Well, I hadn't given it any thought. This is the first I'd heard of that.
Yeah, and that's but that is.
I mean,
if they come to Marion knowing what
Sure,
our
but
local ordinance.
Nobody from Buffalo Wild Wings has said anything to me. I haven't heard anything from them.
They're scared of you.
Well, if they're scared, they're the first ones who were
That's right.
scared.
That's right, you're a very genteel person.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know he's filled with the milk of human kindness.
Yes.
He's told us on many occasions.
Yes.
Well, maybe we've beaten this horse enough for the
I
time
mean,
being.
you've said it all. I meant, you said that you will not allow liquor to be sold in a grocery store or a drugstore, and so that precludes everything that I was talking about. Yeah, it's a moot point.
Yeah, well, and my
And if Jim's got a problem with affecting, local distributors, which Illinois Liquor Mart is by no stretch of the imagination a little guy.
no.
Yeah, so.
Well, you see, there's 2 or 3 things to be considered here. Number one, you've got the drinking public. Now, how many places have to be available for a person who likes to drink to find one that will not satisfy, or will satisfy his desire for a drink? Now, that's on the one hand. On the other hand, the revenue generated for the city through the annual license fee doesn't amount to that much. I mean, we can live without it entirely and probably wouldn't miss it. So it boils down, I guess, to a matter of personal.
Well, I mean, I guess there would be additional sales tax, though, if we picked up additional interstate.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, there are only so many dollars available for purchase of liquor. Now, what difference does it make if I've been buying from John and I decide I'm going to buy from the new fella, Anthony? All I've done is switch the source of the money, but the money is going to stay substantially the same. Just because you issue a bunch more liquor licenses doesn't mean you're going to necessarily increase your overall revenue.
The only increase might be people traveling the interstate knowing that Walmart sells it,
Well, yeah.
There's 2 Walmart. Tim Moldacious tells me there are 2 Walmarts in the state of Illinois that don't sell beer and wine.
Where's the other good one?
Your friend in Mount Vernon.
That gives me reason to reconsider.
I mean,
You know, the other thing it does do is when we have future developers that come in, it restricts what kind of business people want to bring. Because we do have other stores that looked at Marion that would like to have that. They're not offering drinks, they're selling bottles and cans that people will buy. If you drive to most places, it puts us a little behind the ball because we don't offer these things and everybody else does.
Hey, look, we've got 30, more than that. We probably have 40 or 45 places that sell various types of alcohol.
in Marion?
In Marion. Just, that's the number of your licenses.
He's right.
In fact, we've got more. How many would you say?
You're talking package.
Well, now for packaged liquor, we don't have that many.
Yeah, what, we've got a bunch.
We're talking package, not...
I know, but I'm driving down the interstate and I suddenly have an urge for a six-pack. Wheel off of the interstate, I come to...
In any other town but Marion, you can get it.
Well, you can get it at plenty of places in Marion.
They don't.
You look for them.
What do you mean if you look for them? Gee whiz. You see a liquor store, you know you're going to be able to buy a six-pack.
That's a good clue.
It's just that's it. Well, anyhow.
You can Google it nowadays.
Well, I think...
They can't. Well, I know John's got a computer. Yeah.
Well, I suspect that we're not going to get any resolution here on this evening, but it is something, we've had a nice discussion, and I think that it's something for all of us to ponder on and give some thought to. Having said that, have you got anything?
You've got 18, 19, 20.
What?
You have 3 more items.
18, 19.
Oh, yeah, okay. 18.
I make a motion, we approve that $5,000 donation to the night, Columbus for the fireworks.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, what's this about the contract pertaining to the former city hall? Yeah.
It is the contract the council has previously used for City Hall, but Mayor, you said you wanted the council to approve it, and it would go to Kevin Tondini.
We do a month.
He has, after the council approves it, then he would sign it. It has 18 months on it. That's the only change from previous times.
Yeah, completion date, and they have to submit plans to us before they undertake. That's a change too.
We have the right to
Yeah, approve it.
approve their architect.
Approve their architect,
Yeah,
not the...
Yeah,
And it looks like they go ahead and get the title too, the deed.
Yes.
Yes, well,
There's
that
a
helps,
reverter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
revert.
that helps with financing, but you have a
reverter, yeah.
revert clause.
I would make a motion to approve item 19, the agreement on the city hall.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, where's Glenn? You want-
We would need a executive session for that item.
Okay, executive session. And this will be pertaining to a real estate matter. Okay, now, what do you got?
I make a motion to pay the monthly bills as funds become available.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay.
Make a motion to pay the consent agenda.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower, or Commissioner Ranella.
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Anything else?
That is it.
Angelo? Jim?
Nothing further.
John?
Nothing.
Holy cow, how about that?
You said it all. I won't add to that.
So where are we going in for real estate?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion and go into executive session for real estate matters.
Second.
Call the roll.
Anything else, Steve? Glenn, anything else on executive session besides real estate? Yes. Okay. Okay.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Hey, Glenn, is there a possibility of talking a contract in this executive session too? Okay, so we can discuss it. I want to make sure we can't talk about it.
We're not voting on it.
I know, but we'd have to discuss it anyhow. Okay,
Well, we revise that to say, including contract.
Yeah.